Applying to BSMD programs is extremely cutthroat and super competitive, but don't worry, I know exactly how to beat it. As someone who's already been through this process, I will give you genuine tips on how to increase your chances and reveal what mistakes to avoid.
Damn!
You see, the college admission and BSMD process require different approaches, as the BSMD programs combine undergraduate with medical school. So not only do you need to get into the university, but also with the medical school. And the committee wants to choose someone who's college and medical school ready. So this criteria can be broken down into 3 steps: academics, extracurricular involvement, and the essays and interview. For many Ivies, the BSMD application pool is super competitive, as the typical SAT score is going to be at least a 1500. So if you want to increase your chances, it would be best to aim for a 1550 just to be safe, especially because many BSMD programs have SAT score cutoffs. For example, the Baylor to Baylor program has a cutoff of 1430. That being said, the average SAT score will be at least a 1500. So you can say that the BSMD can be more competitive than the typical Ivy. It is a very cutthroat process since everyone wants to be a doctor and each applicant has excellent stats. So GP is also a huge factor in the BSMD application process. This tells the committee if the student is medical school ready and if they're going to be able to handle the course rigor. In contrast to college admissions, many BSMD programs require applicants to be in the top 10 or 5% of their class. So my advice to you would be to keep that GPA high and take the hardest classes that you can take. Along with the BSMD program, there are many other programs that fall under the similar category, like the BA-MD program, which combines a Bachelor of Arts with a Doctor of Medicine, the BSDO program, which combines a Bachelor of Science with a degree in the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. And the DO and the MD are pretty much the same, just different types of medicine. It's also worth noting that each program takes a varying amount of time to complete. For example, an accelerated pathway may take 6 years, while the regular pathway may take 8. A BA-MD program is a combined program with the first couple of years dedicated to earning your bachelor and the last bit in medical school. Out of all the BSMD programs, each of them are very different in their own way with different goals and initiatives. So research the program to make sure it is the right fit for you. And you can find a lot about the program on the program website. For example, looking at the Baylor to Baylor BSMD program, they are seeking a class that's committed to addressing underserved communities, while the OU MHSP program, which is a BA-MD program, gives students opportunity to study the humanities and medicine. And just some advice for applying to the BSMD program, just to remember the financial aspect and the time commitment. When applying to all these BSMD programs, it's going to cost a lot of money. And for the interviews, oftentimes you need to attend in person, and this will require the applicant to travel a lot. Apart from having good academics, BSMD programs also expect students to engage in lots of shadowing, community service, and research. This will show them if you're truly committed to being a doctor and serves as a secondary metric. If you're looking for research, consider cold emailing local professors at your university. For cold emailing, make sure to email lots of professors, and I mean around 30 to 50, since not every professor responds or even reads an email because of how many emails they get per day. I had to email around 30 professors before getting 1 or 2 responses. In your email, make sure to introduce yourself, which is like your grade level, your interests, and your passions, and the idea you have in mind or what research project that you would like to work on. Also, attach your resume and make the email concise but informative, since this may be the first and last time they open that email. But the bottom line for extracurricular involvement is to do something that you find interesting and are passionate about. Make it less about getting a certain number of hours, but do something that you genuinely care about. It can be writing a research paper, starting a nonprofit, or competing in a math or science competition. Once you fulfill this criteria, BSMDs see if you're truly fit for their particular program. Most, and I'm talking about 99% of BSMD programs, ask you to answer the why medicine essay. The essay is one of the most important parts of your application. Along with your personal statement and other college supplements, you will also need to write the supplemental essays for each BSMD program. For example, Brown requires you to write their short answer essays, which is around 6, plus their supplemental essays for their BSMD program, which is 4. So in total, I had to write 10 essays for one college. Like, what the heck? But not gonna lie, the prompts were pretty fun, so I guess that was fine. Some advice on writing is to define your goals and how you will utilize the resources of their program. When talking about your experiences, don't list everything you did. Instead, explain the significance of the experience and how you found it valuable. This will make your essay 10 times more engaging and memorable. Another way to make yourself stand out in the essay is to show passion. It's one thing to genuinely care about one activity and another just to do it for college applications. I promise the admission committee can see that. So if you're interested in applying to some BSMD programs next application cycle, it would be a good idea to start doing that college research and writing those essays now. But you may be wondering, without the prompts, how exactly am I able to write my essay? Well, it's simple. First, I want you to get on a piece of paper and write all the reasons why you want to pursue a career in medicine. And also, list any important medical experiences you've had throughout high school or throughout your life. This will be a good starter to when you start writing those essays in the fall. So congratulations, you made the interview. The interview is an important part of the BSMD process. This gives you the chance to showcase your full personality outside of your essays and extracurriculars. The committee uses this opportunity to assess your decision-making skills, your overall personality, and see if you're fit for the student body. And of course, this will also be your chance to see what the program has to offer and if the program is truly right for you. First, you need to dress nice, arrive on time, and greet each person in that room. Even if they aren't asking questions, this makes them feel noticed. Second tip is to prepare an outline for your general BSMD questions. In the description, I've linked a couple of questions that will definitely pop up in your interviews. However, don't try to memorize your answers, as you may sound robotic to the judges. That is why I tell you to make an outline instead of exact answers, so that you can improvise when the time comes. And of course, there will be some questions that you can't answer, but just try your best. Remember, there's no need to answer fast, just take your time. Make sure to utilize those pauses. Don't say or any of those filler words, just take your time and answer the question. That being said, make sure to give yourself enough sleep the day before the interview, as it will be a long day with a lot of walking. And just a disclaimer, different schools have different interview processes. In contrast to other BSMD programs, the Baylor to Baylor medical program has a 2-step interview process. The first interview has 2 dates and around 100 students attend each session. Later on, out of all of these students, Baylor chooses 12 students for the interview, with only giving 6 admission. Oh, and keep in mind that around 2,000 people apply to this program. So this is definitely one of the more competitive programs, with an acceptance rate of around 1 to 2%. In the description, I've linked the information so that you can read more about it. From everything we just discussed, here's a quick summary. Step 1 is your academics, which is the first metric of this process. This includes your test scores, class rank, and GPA. Typically, you want to aim for at least a 1500 on the SAT, or if better, aim for a 1550 plus on the SAT, and at least a 34 on the ACT to be competitive in the BSMD admission process. Next is going to be your extracurricular involvement. Be sure to have lots of clinical exposure and be involved in research and maintain leadership positions. The final step is the essay and interview. The essay is an important opportunity to share the value of the experiences and who you truly are. The interview gives you a chance to make the best impression on the admission committee and get to know the school as well. I hope this video helped, and be sure to like and subscribe so we can boost the YouTube algorithm so we can get this to more students.